There are a lot of studies out there that show that clutter causes stress and anxiety, but more often than not, you don't hear about decluttering causing stress and anxiety, and that's what we're going to go over today. Today we're going to talk about certain times that we might be out of balance while decluttering, and then I'm going to give you encouragement and solutions to combat it, because decluttering will benefit you. I have no doubts about that, but we want to make it as easy a process as possible. Let's get started. A real hang-up when decluttering is the thought that we might regret something that we're getting rid of. Is this item replaceable? If I had regrets, could I get my hands back on it? So generally speaking, if it's something that's discontinued, I might check eBay and see, first of all, do I want to sell that item? But second of all, could I get it back if I really regretted getting rid of it? And usually the answer is yes. So after checking eBay and knowing that this item is replaceable, or maybe it's just something that's kind of generic and I don't have any concerns about getting it back, those kinds of items I don't have a problem getting rid of. You could even use the 20-20 rule in this instance, which means that if it only takes you 20 minutes to get an item back and it only costs under $20, it's not a real big deal. Let it go. If this item is irreplaceable, such as a sentimental item, and I'm still having reservations, I just set that item aside and I keep on trucking down the road with the rest of the things that are just not that hard. There has only been a handful of times that I had a regret about that item. And do you want to know what happened? I went ahead and replaced it. I held on to that item for a couple of more years, and you know what? I went ahead and decluttered it again. So here is my solution for myself, and one that I hope helps you as well. Keep a journal of those items that you struggle with. And then I want you to write down the name of the item, and I want you below that to write down why you got rid of it in the first place. Give your thought process to your future self so that you know exactly why you parted ways with that item. It will allow you to reference it again and realize, hey, wait a minute, I did have good reasoning behind this, and I'm not just thinking emotionally, I thought logically about this item, and it is okay to have let it go. And you know what, worst comes to worst, you do like I did, you repurchase it, and maybe you will actually use it. Maybe it will become something of value to you. But then again, you might be just like me and you're going to have to let that item go all over again. So you let me know in the comments if you've ever struggled with an item like this and you had some pangs of regret and then bought it back again only to get rid of it all over again. I'd be very curious to know if that has happened to any of you. If you enjoy content like this, I want you to please subscribe to my little channel. It would help me reach more people just like you. In the description, I'm going to include a few extra videos that I think that you'll find helpful. So check those out too. Less distractions will equal less stress and less anxiety. Distractions happen, and when you get distracted, it takes so long to refocus and recalibrate on the task at hand. And if you're a person like me that has a hard time refocusing, that can be stressful and cause you anxiety. So here's what I'd like you to do. As much as possible, set a certain amount of time where you have utterly no distractions. You don't have appointments that you have to get to. You have everything set for dinner, for instance. You don't have to worry about stopping and putting stuff in a crock pot. Whatever it is, maybe that's the night you get takeout. If you can just eliminate all of the distractions and anything else that you have to do that will cause you a distraction, that is just going to be a game changer for you. You might even want to let your family members know, hey, I'm decluttering today, so if it's not an emergency, please give me from this time to this time where you don't interrupt me, because I'm really trying to do good and get this all done. And I bet you if you take some measures like this, before you start decluttering, you're going to have so much less stress and anxiety. I wanted to let you know that I'm going to be doing a closet organization video. It's going to include my brand new closet, plus dressers. I'm going to show you how I fold things, how I organize things. So stay tuned for that one. It's going to be so good. Going through documents and paperwork, oh my goodness, that is such a task. And it can be quite boring, but it can also cause you stress and anxiety. So here's what you do. Some of these documents can be quite important, and you don't want to accidentally throw them out or declutter them. If you have a whole bunch of files, for instance, just take one file out at a time and really go through every single thing in that file. Make a decision on those things. Can you throw it out? Can you discard it? Does it need to be shredded, or can it just be ripped up and put in the garbage? Is it something that you need for the future? And if you do need that document, how are you going to store it in the future? Are you going to put it back in a file, or can it be stored digitally? Maybe you have such a reduction in these documents that you might even be able to downsize however you were storing it. For me, I used to have 2 gigantic file cabinets, and now I am down to 1 Torcus bin from IKEA. It is literally the best solution I have ever had, and I will go ahead and link it to you in the description because this thing is amazing. I use this Torcus bin in many different capacities around my home, but come to find out, you can actually have normal standard size files fit in them. It's visually appealing. It has handles so that you can easily maneuver it and take it down. The files in them don't get so heavy that it's too heavy for you to carry. And the thing I love about it most is it's portable. You can literally take these up and go through them at your table. They're easy to access too. It's open storage, so that when you do get something like, let's say, a State Farm statement in the mail and you need to file it, you're not just tossing it on the top of the file cabinet to be processed later. You can easily see where that file is and just stick it right in. And that just makes all the difference. Your future self will thank you, trust me. If you find that going through these documents is difficult for you, or it's emotionally taxing or just physically taxing because you're staying stationary in the same place, get up, take a walk around the block, get new scenery, get some fresh air, be out with the birds chirping. It's just nice to take breaks like that. And you know what I like to do too? Give yourself a special treat. Get something like a box of candy or maybe a bowl of ice cream or something that you don't ordinarily have, but you can treat yourself with. And that is a positive connotation that you can attach to a negative situation that you just don't feel like doing, but you have to do anyway. If you're getting overwhelmed while you're decluttering, make sure you check out this video. I give you 10 tips that will totally help you when you're overwhelmed. I think one of the most difficult things that we can go through when we're decluttering is pictures. Those pictures just bring back so many memories. It's confusing. We don't want to get rid of things that we shouldn't, but sometimes we don't even recognize the people in the pictures. I had so many photos, boxes and boxes of them. So I feel for you if you are going through the same thing. Not only did I have pictures from my own family that I had to go through, I had to go through pictures from generations of family members, people that I had to figure out who they were. Some I just could not figure out. And so it's a good idea, if you're doing that, to ask other family members, maybe some older folks that you have in your family that might recognize these people. Or maybe those pictures would be better off in their possession because they recognize them and could appreciate them more than you. And that's exactly what I did. So when I went through those generational pictures, I packed some off to my Aunt Kay and to my dad's cousin Donna, and they were so thankful to get those pictures. Those were memories that they hadn't thought about in years, and it was a gift to them. So in my possession, just sitting there collecting dust in a closet did no good. And then what I had left were pictures that were meaningful to me. One album from my mom and pictures that related to her family, and then one album from my dad and pictures that related to his family. And then I took extensive notes so that when my kids look through these pictures one day, they'll be able to appreciate that and know who all of these people are. I have a suggestion, and it's not something that I did because I was able to release the pictures to other people in my family. But if you don't have anyone like that, you could always contact the local library for your community and see if that's something that they would like. It's possible that they have a historical society for your community. And I think that that is an awesome way to let those pictures be used in some capacity versus just tossing them out. But you know what? If that's all you can do and you need to release it and there's no outlet for you other than that, let them go. Getting them out of your possession will be so much lighter on your mind, I guarantee it. Now, the pictures that I took myself of my own family, I went ahead and got rid of all of the duplicates. And believe me, there was a lot of them. I would take 10 shots of one picture just to make sure I had it right. I chose the best ones of my family for my kids' albums and then for my own, and I let the rest go, and I was totally fine with that. It reduced my quantity of pictures so much. So when I was sorting through the pictures that I had developed already, I just started from there and moved forward. And all of the rest of my pictures are digital, and I don't intend to go back and make albums of those things. I just wanted to make sure that I sorted through the physical pictures that I had on hand. Now those are in albums, and I feel great about it. So here's my suggestion to you. Break this task up. Don't try to handle it all at once, and certainly don't have everything all torn up and spread out. That will drive you bananas. Just take one little section at a time, sort through those pictures. And once you get all of the pictures sorted and organized, then you can start by kid or by generation, whatever it is you want to work on. But break this up too. Don't try to do everything all at once. It will become overwhelming for you, and you just don't want that. If you break it up, I promise you, you'll get through it so much easier. If you're struggling emotionally with these pictures, maybe a loved one is no longer with you, like my dad and my mom, and that was very hard for me to go through those pictures. Make sure that you give yourself the time and the space to process it. You're going to have bad days, and you can give yourself a little time off, but go back into it when you're having a good day and you think that you can handle it better. Memory items are another thing that give us stress and anxiety, and I'm speaking from experience. I lost my mom, I lost my grandma, and I lost my dad. And each of those losses came with stuff that I inherited that at the time I couldn't make a decision on, but in the future I had to because I didn't want to carry all of this stuff over for the rest of my life. I wanted to make sure that I processed it. And not only that, but I have memory items from my own family that we needed to make some decisions on because it was accumulating from over the years. So having done all of that and being on the other side of those memory items, I'm telling you that it's a very rewarding experience in the end, but you might have anxiety and stress going through it. So if you come across something that is causing you sadness, which can turn into anxiety and stress, I want you to just part ways with that. There is no rule in the rule book that says you have to keep an item that causes sadness. I don't care how much it cost or who gave it to you. If that item is not giving you positive feelings, let it go. You don't need to keep it. Memory items that you want to keep, in my opinion, should be displayed. They should be something that are useful or that you love to look at because it's a positive time in your life, or maybe you've had a great experience, maybe it's an award that you got, or maybe it's something special from a loved one that you no longer have. I have this green fish, it was my grandmother's, and I love to look at it. It's just super special to me, but I keep it out as a display item. I don't have it in a bin. And I'm not saying that there's not a place for memory bins because obviously you can't keep everything out. But when you're going through your items, I want you to have 1 or 2 memory bins. And when you start to get to the top, you're going to have to reevaluate because everything is not special. Only keep the most special items to you and just let the rest go. They don't all need to live in a bin. At the end of the day, you want these bins to be a size that is manageable and easily accessible, so that when you feel like reminiscing, it's very easy for you to get into these bins and easy for you to put them back. Just in case items are another thing that if we keep too many can definitely cause us stress and anxiety because it's just overflow and we don't need that many things. Now, a lot of times for me, I said it before and I'll say it again, I have duplicates and it's just in case. What if one breaks? What if I stain something? What if one wears out? Then I'm going to have that backup, right? I'm telling you right now from my own experience, I have gotten rid of most of those things because oftentimes I find that by the time I'm done with an item, I'm ready for a fresh start with something entirely new, especially where it pertains to clothing. If I have a pair of shorts I love, well, that doesn't mean that I'm going to love it for 10 years. There is no need to keep all of these duplicates. So if that's you and you're keeping things just in case, let those items go. Only keep enough for you to use, and there's no need to clog up your homes with all of this excess. That definitely causes stress and anxiety. Me personally, I love to see my floor and I love my flat surfaces to be clear of clutter. So that means that I have storage areas for these things. And when I start to have overspill, that's when I know, uh-oh, you need to go in and declutter it. And that doesn't have to be stressful or cause us anxiety if we keep in mind we don't need to keep just in case items. I hope today's tips were helpful for you and that you keep them in mind as you are decluttering, because I really feel that it is so important that you declutter for your overall balance and well-being. We just don't want to make things harder on ourselves than it has to be. Don't forget to check out my description. I'm linking that Torcus bin for you that I use for my files and a lot of other places in my home. And also I'm including a couple extra videos that I think that you will find very helpful. I hope you have the best week ever, and I will see you back here next Thursday. If you enjoy this type of content, make sure that you subscribe to my channel. I post a new video every week.